you can't evidence that you've seen and you've asked questions. And with any change of type of school from other than a mainstream, which every child's entitled to, you as much have to evidence the placement that can meet need as you need to evidence the placement that can't. So by going to view that school, you are asking the questions, you're looking at the environment, you're looking at the cohort, you're looking at the staff. And by doing that, you're showing that actually you have been there, you've looked, you've asked the questions, and therefore you can evidence that your child's needs cannot be met in this particular placement. If you don't do that, what happens is you go to a hearing and they say to you, how do you know? Have you been?
Yes.
Have you spoken to them? Have you visited? Have you asked the questions? And if you haven't, you are on the back foot. If you have, and you can then state, absolutely, you know, I went to this school and, you know, X, Y, and Z are the reasons why my child is not able to attend this school.
You are going to be in potentially you are going to be in a tribunal at the end of the day, but you are going to be sitting in a tribunal hearing online. You are going to have the head of this school or the Senko of this school, and you are going to be able to ask them questions in front of the judge about your child. Right? If you don't go and visit and see, right, your child, for example, might need you know, a calm, quiet area that they can go and calm down in at any time of the day. Right? And you might go and visit and find that room's full of 3 screaming children with 5 children queuing for it. You know, if your child's EHCP in Section F says the school will provide a calm, quiet area that the child can access at any time of the day that they need to, you're going to be able to say to the judge, can you provide to the head, can you provide this? And if they say, oh yes, you're going to say, where? And they're going to say, well, this room. And you're going to say, well, when I visited, there were 3 screaming children there and 5 queuing to get in there. So how at that moment would you have been able to provide it for my child? And the head's going to just have to say, oh, okay, actually it is a shared room with the whole school. Right? If you don't go, you can't ask those questions. You can't show the judge how that school can't meet needs. And
it's especially relevant if you're going for EOTAS, because you have got to identify that there is absolutely no school or education environment that can meet need or that your child can attend. It's a double header with it's not just about the placement, it's also about your child not being able to access that. And you then, you know, with the OTAS, you've got to do everything. You've got to absolutely identify that no mainstream, no specialist, and no specialist independent. So you need to go all of those, because otherwise they'll pick out a specialist independent school and say, well, we found this school for you, and this school may well be an hour's drive away, but you have still got to identify why that particular place for EOTAS is not appropriate.
Absolutely. And when you go, for you or you know, anyone else that this is relevant to, or anyone else that might listen to this in the future, you need to go and be nice, and you need to go and be open, and you need to go with the attitude that I want to find out as much about your school as possible, because if this is the right place, then of course I want my son to go, because then they'll tell you things. If you go in with that attitude of my child's not coming here, no chance, not over my dead body, they're just going to clam up and not tell you anything. So, you know, think about how you're going. I mean, you know, honestly, you are going to get as much information if you can to see if the school can meet needs. So go with an open mind and that attitude. You'll gather far more information. Also, take a lot of information about your child. Take their working document. The local authority will have probably told them minimal information. They will probably have given them the final EHCP and nothing else, and be expecting them to make the decision on that. So in the second part of the meeting, you know, towards the end, give them the working document and tell them the big picture, so that they can really understand.
And it's the same if you're looking for a school and you're in draft.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
local authority would have shown the schools the draft before any amendments are made, and I've never seen a draft that doesn't need amendments being made to it. So it has to be that the schools see the draft with the amendments, whether those amendments are agreed or not, because those amendments are what you will be going to appeal to have put into that EHCP. So they need to see those amendments, because that is exactly what you'll be requesting. And that's really important, because the local authority won't do that. It's not in their best interests
No.
to give them a draft with amendments being made. It's not in their best interest to say, actually, we've written this really badly, and this has been 90% rewritten because it's had the professional reports put into it and it's now worded to legality.